Okay, this is our very first podcast. We're doing it to YouTube and then to podcast. We'll print everything or put everything below. Hello, my name is Darcy the Rock, and this is Terry Osty, and you're listening to Agent Tech Mastery podcast that revolutionizes the real estate business. I have had almost 3 decades in IT, and Terry, you have had how many years as a real estate agent?
Oh my gosh, 18 years now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we are going to guide you to streamlining operations, saving time, and boosting revenue. Discover cutting edge technologies, systems, apps, and a mindset for profitable and integrated business. If you want to know how to get there, you are in the right place. So, today, what's this exciting topic today, Terry?
I think we're going to start off with business fundamentals.
Yes. And that would be about our favorite topic.
CRM, budgeting, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think what we'll do, so we're going to try and do these podcasts, YouTube stream live. We're going to try and do it every week for sure, every 2 weeks. And we're going to have, they could go for 10 minutes, they could go for an hour, depending on the topic and what Terry and I start chatting about. So we had the discussion, Terry, a couple weeks ago. And you and I started talking about, we said we should really do this kind of podcast and talk about business systems because I think you'll agree. And I've noticed I've been helping agents now for 16 years. That's almost 2 decades. That's a long time. Um, and what we see is that they don't necessarily know how to run a business. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I think there's a large percentage of the industry that comes into the industry, and they essentially buy themselves a job.
Right. Yep.
They don't actually treat their business as a business. And as long as you're making money and paying the bills, it feels good, and
Yep.
you carry on, right? One of the fundamentals is putting together a business plan. And if
Yep.
you've never done that in your career, please, please, please start now because you have to understand the numbers.
Right. I'm always talking about numbers. And, um, both Terry and I have always invested in ourselves and our business. And we talk numbers a lot because you have to know your numbers in order to know if you're, doing well. And there's a difference between gross and net, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of agents just think, whatever it might be, they got a $4,000 commission check or a $10,000 commission check or whatever it might be. And that is not money that is yours. You know what I mean?
Right. How many agents have you run into over the course of 16 years where you're talking about their business and their finances and they come up with, you know what, every year at tax time, I never have enough money to pay my taxes.
Yeah, which also means they don't have enough to invest in themselves and their business.
Correct, right?
And
We
it
had to start
actually
over and over again.
it
Mhm.
makes me sad, really, because I was so fortunate, and I know I've told you this story. So I have been self-employed since 2007, and a friend of mine who was in a corporate business but also used to be self-employed said, Darcy, please put away 30% of everything that you ever make so that you can always pay your taxes and reinvest in yourself. And I've always listened to that. And I know that you have too, in a different way, but you have too. You put things away so that when something comes up that you want to invest in yourself or even stocks or whatever, whatever it might be, you've got the money available to do so.
Yeah, because business 101 is like you were talking about gross revenues and net revenues.
Yeah.
I remember talking to one of my friends, one of my fellow agents, and he said, Terry says, I remember when I made $1 million, my first year of generating $1 million in gross revenue,
Whoa.
right?
Nice.
He was
Yeah.
so excited. And in our industry, we reward gross revenues, number of transactions, all that kind of stuff, right? That's
Yeah.
all part of our award systems that most brokerages do. But he was so excited. He was so happy. He was regarded as an icon in the industry. And he says, Terry, a little secret. He says, it actually cost me $1.1 million to earn that $1 million in gross revenue. So he actually lost a
So
hundred thousand dollars that year.
yeah, so the gross was 1 million
Yeah,
and the net was negative
was negative one,
100,000.
right?
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing. That's not a business.
No, if you consistently lose $100,000 every year, you won't be in business for very long.
No,
So,
no. And that, and if you guys could take anything, we'll talk a little bit about other things too, but if you can take anything from what we're saying, is take a percentage out, and a good rule is 30% to cover your taxes at the year. And I cannot tell you how many times I talk to agents, because in my business, I offer a program for agents to come in, and I consistently hear, "Oh, I don't have any money. Oh, I don't have any money." Like it's shocking to me actually, because you should have money to invest in your business and yourself and pay your taxes.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think the investment back into your business is critical. It's
you're
20,
always doing it.
and we just did it recently. We bought some new software, which is
Yeah. Oh,
amazing.
and actually, okay, so we won't talk specific about the software, because how I work is that we need to test software first, and then anyone who joins my program for agents, if something works really well, we let them know. But what was the cost of the software, Terry?
6,000 Canadian dollars
Every
year.
every year. And
That's
a
it.
lot of you will be looking at that going, well, that's ridiculous. But I don't think Terry even batted an eyelash about it, because he has the money to invest back in his business. And this software looks amazing. So it should pay off tenfold. And that's what you want to look at. Like, whatever you're investing in or buying, is it going to, give you some benefit back? That's obviously one
Yeah.
of the reasons we invest in our business and ourselves, right?
And for our clients, the primary purpose of this software is to enhance the listings that we have to take it to that
Yeah.
next level.
Yeah.
So I've only seen one person in the United States using it so far.
Right. Right.
So again, it's part of that budgeting, investing back into your business, and everything is client driven because we're always striving to do the best for our clients, right?
Yeah.
And
And I know, sometimes as well, when we're looking at things like this, there's a sticker shock sometimes. And you're like, oh, should I, shouldn't I? And well, 2 months ago, I'm trying to remember when I paid all that money out. Was it maybe 2 months ago?
yeah,
And so there was an opportunity to increase how my business works. And I'm sure any of you guys listening, you'll be like, "Okay, that's crazy that I paid that money," but it was about $27,000 Canadian, and it's worth it. Like, that's a lot of money. And so I hesitate a little bit, kind of, but I knew if I did it, and it's a year-long program, that you guys, any of my clients, will be better for it, and I'll be better for it, and it's worth the investment,
hmm
right? So
yeah.
what we want to look at too is that, you know, there's fundamentals in businesses. You guys have expenses, right? You have to have the money to pay for those expenses. And I was just reading something that I wrote down from the program I'm taking, and this is what they say. Every business that operates a fundamental financial principle, expenses should never exceed 70% of gross revenue, like your guy you just said, right?
Yeah.
Ensuring a 30% profit margin remains untouched. So whether it's payroll, advertising, expenses, education, it can vary, but the bottom line has to be that profit is met. So we have to understand that, and how agents can do that. And the simplest method is just to put away 30%. Now, Terry, you're also talking about the business planning side. And can you go into a little bit more about how do you plan your business every year?
Well, I'm not going to get too deep into it because
Oh,
that's a full hour of talking about spreadsheets and stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's pretty boring stuff. But you have to understand where your revenue is coming from. Um, I know you can't predict exactly what that's going to happen every year, but you can set yourself goals and understand what
Mhm.
your revenue stream is going to look like
Yeah.
on one side. And on the other side, like we talked about your expenses, you're going to have fixed expenses and you have some variable expenses as well as
Mhm.
you go through your year. So
Yeah.
as long as you have those laid out in a fundamental way of understanding where those numbers are going to roll out and what's going to look like at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, then you have a plan.
Yeah.
And if you have a plan, you can break it down into a number of steps. And every time you take a step, it falls into that plan. So if you keep following those steps in that plan, guess what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen at the end of the year. It's very
Yeah.
predictable. But if you don't
Yep.
have a plan, you have no idea where you're going or what's going to happen between January and December.
Yeah.
Correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing that I always like to talk about, because I'm in all these Facebook groups with agents too, is that having a plan, but also you should never be selling a home or helping someone buy a home because you need the revenue ever. That should have nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
right?
The mindset is always of service, and clients always first. Absolutely.
Right. And we'll talk about that in other podcasts, but it's incredible when I see stuff on Facebook groups that I have to get a sale and I have to, you're not doing this in the best interest of your clients if you're trying to get them to buy or sell something to pay your mortgage or your rent. That is not the way to run a business ever,
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah. We'll talk about, we will do another session about the mindset of sales versus service.
Oh, yeah. Let me add that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So once
Uh,
you get that mindset, it changes how you do everything.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Absolutely. And I do think so. I'm in a different business, but sales is sales, more or less, right? And when I changed my mindset, and it was through a program that I took about 5 or 6 years ago, and again, that one was it was 10,000 US, so I think that was like 12,000 Canadian, and it was about mindset because honestly, for me, I don't like sales. And I'm saying that out loud, but I do sell things, but I don't look at it as selling you something. I am helping you with your goals, just like an agent would be helping a buyer or seller with their goals. I'm not, they shouldn't be doing it because I need the money. And I do consistently see that. And I need to get a client because I can't make my mortgage. Well, you're not going to be in business very long with that mindset. So we will do a one of these on mindset for sure.
Yeah. Because what you're doing is you're offering people an opportunity to fundamentally change the business and how they are doing and operating their business.
Right. Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
there's a
is a
cost,
gift.
of course, because that's how the world works. Uh, but you're giving them the opportunity to fundamentally change the business.
Yeah. And same with an agent, right? You have, and again, it has to be about service and not about you and needing money to pay for something. But those clients is, I can't think of another industry that is working with the amount of money that you guys work with. It's people's life savings in their homes, usually, right? And you can't take that lightly.
Yeah.
Like, right? You cannot take it lightly. And it cannot be because you need to make the money. It has to be about those people. And again, we'll get into that in another podcast, YouTube streaming. Do you have anything else to say about the putting money away, Terry?
Yeah, no, it's that's going to be one of the elements of your business plan is education and reinvestment into your business. That's just
Mm-hmm.
a component, whether it's 2%, 3%, 10%.
Yeah,
Everybody's going to adjust that number accordingly.
right.
Uh, but you have to have that in your business plan.
Yeah.
You invest in
And
your business.
where'd you get your business plan?
I have 3 or 4 different business plans,
Yeah.
templates that I use. Um, one of the ones that when I was with another brokerage, every year the brokerage put on a business planning session at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So as an agent of that brokerage, you had the choice of attending or not, but it would be pretty,
Right.
I think it'd be pretty crazy not to attend because
Now, do you know if associations or the boards put on these type of things for agents as well?
not that I heard of. Yeah.
That's interesting because they really should.
And then in my mentor coaching programs, I have a couple of different approaches to putting business plans together that we go through our clients with on that. And one of those things about a business plan is it has to become a habit. It has to be in your schedule.
Yeah.
We talk about schedules. What's the fundamental of a schedule? A calendar, and what's that attached to? A CRM, maybe?
Oh, we'll talk about CRMs one of these days because
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite topics. Yep.
Mhm. One of the great things about scheduling things, and this
Yeah.
is just like the gym because I schedule my gym. If I
Yeah.
didn't schedule it, it would be so hard to go and get it done on my own. I
Yeah.
commit to getting in my car and driving to the gym and spending 1 hour of uninterrupted time. Same thing happens in your business. You have to schedule these things. And that was a really good event every year that the brokerage put on because you would schedule it. You would be committed to at least 6 hours of your day sitting
Yes.
off site somewhere with a group of your colleagues and the managing broker or broker owner and walking through putting together a legitimate business plan for your business.
Okay. You know what? So maybe we should do that one of these podcasts.
You want to go through it step by step? Sure.
Maybe we'll do that. We'll just put it on the list. You guys were new to this and we just wanted to start doing podcasts. So I am going to add that to the list to do about business planning because I think it's so important for everybody. And here's a little tip because this is what Terry and I now we have gotten off doing this since COVID, and so we need to get back on doing this. But what Terry and I did every year, and this is a write off, you guys, hint, hint, okay, is that we would plan a trip somewhere, and for two, I think it was. Do we always go for 2 days?
It
I
was
can't
it was
remember
two
now.
working days for sure. So
2 working days. Yeah, and we would plan it and go somewhere and write off, and we wouldn't just go and go have fun. We had some fun, but we would sit and business plan for 2 days, and we
yeah,
would help each other with our goals and structuring our business and what's working, what's not, and things like that. And so it's a little tip, but we'll talk about that more about when we do a whole podcast on business planning.
yeah. Because if you don't schedule it and commit to it, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to become a low priority item and you're going to get busy in your business. You know how real estate is.
Yeah,
Things happen and
yeah,
you'll never, January goes by, February goes by, and now it's
yeah,
May, and you go, oh, I have to do my business plan, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
guarantee you it will never get done.
Yeah, it's similar. I was just talking to someone today. It's very similar to the CRM side.
Oh yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
again about scheduling time. I call it time blocking, but it's scheduling time to do specific tasks, whether it's at the gym, looking at your CRM, doing stuff in your CRM. But what's very consistent, and again, we will have a topic about CRMs just about that one day. But what happens is that an agent spends months and months and months, if not years, trying to find a CRM. They finally pay for one or they're using the brokerage one. Don't. I'll talk about why not when we get to that one, that podcast. Do not use a brokerage CRM. But they spend all this time and doing some stuff. But then the money making side, where it's keeping in touch with clients and it's setting up drip campaigns, they don't do. And why? Well, it's not scheduled. Number two, I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it next month. I'm going to do it next month. And then it's next year. And then they've sat and paid for a CRM for many years and they're not using it.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't tell, like, it's a high number that I talk to agents that everybody does the same thing. And why? Number one, you don't know your numbers and you don't know how much revenue is lost because you're not keeping in touch. And it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you knew your numbers, we'll talk about that in another one. Oh, hold on. Know your numbers. Know your numbers. And I'll give you a little way to calculate it, just in general. But if you've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because you're not keeping in touch with clients, isn't it worth it to schedule time to learn how to do a portion of the money making side of a CRM?
For
Yes.
sure. And that's on the business side, but think about your clients as well. You
Yeah.
went through an emotional transition in their life,
Yeah.
either they're buying or selling or whatever they're up to. You walk that journey with them.
Yeah.
At the end of the journey, they know, love, and trust you.
Yeah.
A lot of them become your
Hopefully.
friends, right? Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
But don't you genuinely want to talk to these people?
I know you do.
it's not a sales thing. It's not a, it's you like these people. You had this amazing journey together. They bought their new house.
Yeah,
Um, maybe drank some champagne or whatever happened during that whole process. Do
yeah.
you not want to talk and see these people anymore? I know I
It's
do.
incredible.
Oh,
We will talk. I know you and I talk about this so much. So I probably didn't mention Terry and I are married. So he's an agent. I run a business helping agents. And so it's a great combo. And so we talk a lot about stuff. And it's really incredible that people don't know their numbers and they don't have CRMs and they don't understand business skills. And so our goal is, as we're doing this podcast and YouTube, that we help you understand how to better streamline your business and how to better run your business. And that's our goal for you with these podcasts that we just started.
exactly. And one of the things that happens too, and I know in Darcy, when you're talking to people who are interested in changing how they run their business, and then when they say they don't have the money to improve their business, you
Yeah.
know right away, they're not managing their business. They're not real
No,
business people. They're not managing the business.
no.
They were, they would say, no problem. I have an X amount of dollars set aside to improve my business every single year.
Yeah.
Let's get started. I need help.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm not surprised anymore, but it's just the nature of the industry that you guys haven't been, a lot of agents have never been taught how to run a business and to save. And also, in that same respect, when you're putting 30% away, you should have, the studies say that you should have 3 months of available savings to cover yourself in case there's issues in your business. Maybe you don't make a sale that month. So is that going to stress you out? Because that's not helpful. Or do you have money that's set aside for that, to pay for your kids' things and groceries and rent and mortgage, whatever it is, right? Like Terry and I have never had a problem with that because we've always done it. I don't think we've ever,
Nope.
in all these years, we don't struggle with the finance side because we have business plans and we have money set aside, and we have always done it since we've been together.
Yeah.
So,
And one of the other
hey,
things that happens too when it comes to, having an understanding of business fundamentals, especially in the real estate industry, is to be able to make decisions. Because we find that the most successful people are people who can actually make decisions.
yeah,
Because if you keep saying, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to do some research, I'm going to look around, I'm going to look into this," you will never, ever, ever make that decision. I can guarantee you that. If you are presented with information and you do not actively make a decision within a like immediately, let's say,
yeah,
you'll never make that decision. You're going to waffle around and keep thinking about maybe making a business plan or doing this, and you're just going to wallow around and
yeah,
continue to do your business the way you do it, and continue to have problems. You have
yeah.
to make decisions
Yeah,
and
make a decision is is crucial.
commit to them.
I get that a lot. It's interesting that you said that because when I talk to agents, and I have a complimentary calls with agents. They can come in. I'll let you guys know about that in a minute. But and we'll review their systems, and then of course, if it's a good fit, I'll offer them to come into my program. And the best and most successful people in my program are those people like, yeah, where do I sign up? Can I start now, tomorrow? When am I so messed up? I know I've lost a ton of money. And those other agents, oh, let me think about it. I got to ask my wife. And that's just an excuse, is that they don't want to invest in themselves. And it's always shocking because everyone's systems are so messed up, right? But number one for today is, please, okay, put 30% of any revenue you make so that you can pay your taxes and invest in yourself and your business and your family and vacation and all that fun stuff. And more, a minimum of 30%, right?
Yeah, because that's probably going to cover just your taxes, right? Depending on how you,
Well, I guess depends on where you live.
yeah, where you live, how your company is set up, whether you're a proprietorship or
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah. Well, you know what, which I didn't really think about, because what we did, I don't, when did you incorporate? Do you remember?
oh
I think
gosh,
mine was
years ago at
28.
least.
I can't remember. So now what Terry and I do in our separate businesses is that we incorporated, and everything goes to the corporation, and all we do is pull as little as we need to, you know, pay ourselves and, mortgages and food and all that stuff, as minimal as we can. So our personal taxes are low and all the money is left in the corporations, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we're not giving anybody tax advice. Always,
Oh,
always
no. Yeah.
talk
Thank
to an
you.
accountant.
Because we talk to agents all across different regions too. Everywhere is different. That's what we do. And it's worked out really well for us because we always have the money to do whatever we want. Okay.
And we have some good people on our side as well who give us
Yes. Good
the
accountants
right
and good,
advice.
good people who give us advice for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. Always, yeah, I always recommend to have an accountant. I know one of the agents likes to do everything himself, and he's one of the agents who didn't have enough money to pay his taxes. So, so
You
surround
have to
yourself,
pay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. You have to
surround yourself
pay for expert advice.
absolutely.
Yeah, you cannot flounder and pretend you know everything because you don't. Neither do I, neither does Terry. Nobody knows everything.
No,
But we pay the experts to help us because if they've been doing it for 10 years and I've never done it, it's going to be a faster way to fix my thing with the person with the 10 years or 30 years experience than me who knows nothing about whatever it is, right?
oh, exactly, and that's why we pay accountants because they're accountants. They're qualified. They do this all day long. We don't. And
Yeah,
that's why clients hire you as a realtor, let's say on the real estate side,
yeah,
because you're the expert, you're the licensee, you are the expert, you know what's going on. That's why you get paid to do what you do to serve your clients.
yeah, you got it.
We reciprocate and we hire accountants and other professionals to help us because they are the professionals.
Yeah, perfect. Okay,
Exactly.
Terry, I think we're good. Any last thing to say?
I really want to talk about CRMs, but
We are going to do that in an upcoming podcast. Again, somewhere in here, because this is our new one, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please go look at our podcast once I figure out how to export the audio. I'm having someone else do that, FYI. I'm not an expert in that. So we will have someone else do that and we'll get this all sorted out. So if you are stuck and piecemealing your business together, your real estate business, let's get you where you want to go. If you want our help to do that, book a call at agenttechmastery.com/apply-pod for podcast, agenttechmastery.com/apply-pod. It's absolutely free and it possibly might be the best call you've ever made for your business. Okay, so thanks for tuning into the show. Don't forget to subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. Remember, running your real estate business does not have to be so frustrating, overwhelming, and piecemeal together. With our expert guidance, we've helped thousands of realtors save time and increase profits. Why not join them? My name is Darcy LaRock.
curiosity.
Look at me,
I wasn't ready
curiosity.
for that.
And we look forward to talking with you soon at our next podcast. Bye.
Yeah.